We're going to pit the famous RB26 DETT against the 2JZ GTE. So 12-year-old fanboys, get your tissues ready, and domestic fans, hide your LS swaps. We're going to be comparing these two engines because of their famed rivalry and their technical similarities, and we'll be looking at the latest versions of each engine found in the Supra and the R34 GTR. The RB26 was available in the R32, R33 and R34 GTR, as well as the Staggear 260 RS. But for this video, we're going to be focusing on the R34's RB26. The displacement of the RB26 was 2,598 cc's, or rounded up to 2.6. Configuration was an inline 6, double overhead camshaft, 24 valve, with paired individual throttle bodies on the intake, 86mm bore by 73.7mm stroke. Power output was 276 horsepower at 6,800 RPM, while torque was 289 pound-foot at 4,400. Boost came courtesy of two parallel turbos, pushing up 14 psi standard. In the 2JZ's case, in Japan it came in the Aristo V, Aristo V300, and Supra RZ, while in America, you only got it in the Supra Turbo. The displacement was 2,997 cc's, or 3 litres rounded up. Configuration was an inline 6, double overhead camshaft with 24 valves. Dimensions were 86mm bore by 86mm stroke, hence why it has the increase in displacement over the RB26. Power was 276 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, and torque was 320 pounds-foot at 4,000. Boost was 11 psi thanks to two sequential turbos. Funnily enough, in the R34 and the Supra, both cars could feature a very similar 6-speed GetDrag manual box that could even interchange parts, the biggest difference being that the R34 gearbox had front drive shafts. We've got two experts on each engine to give us their take on each one's strengths and weaknesses. Because of the shorter stroke found in the RB26, it can rev much higher. The block was born as a race engine and detuned for the road, so increasing power is easy and reliable. The RB26's more linear power curve makes it very predictable when on a throttle. They can be expensive as GTRs weren't sold in great numbers. Head gaskets and oil pumps are the weak link and can cause problems at both stock power and when upgraded. Oil filters and spark plugs can get stuck and become a pain to remove. Being one of the most over-engineered blocks of all time means that even high-mileage, badly maintained engines can hold up to abuse. The wider variety of cars provided with the GTE engine means that they're more common to find. The 2JZ had a much beefier crank than the RB26, with larger bearing journals and bigger bearings, so failure at stock power is far less common. If you want to change the oil pump, either the engine or the subframe needs to be removed. Rod bolts, pistons and main caps can all be points of weakness when shooting for a big power 2JZ build. Valves and seats can become pitted and cause a drop in compression. Different brands, tuning, combinations of parts, supporting mods and more will always show different results, so if you're about to comment that your friend has a 2000 horsepower Supra and they've only done a K&N air filter on it, you can save it. We're going to talk about the only two power levels the internet seems to care about, how much power will basic performance mods get you, and how much to hit the magic 1000 horsepower number. Basic bolt-on mods will help you push up towards the 400 brake horsepower mark, provided the car is tuned correctly. The RB26 block was known to take 500 horsepower in race trim, so its block is incredibly strong. However, 1000 horsepower will require a full internal build as well as upgraded bolt-on parts, which can run well into the $15,000 to $20,000 range. The GTE will see very similar circa 400 brake horsepower results with basic performance upgrades. If you're looking to build a reliable 1000 brake horsepower Supra, you can be looking at a bill of over £50,000. But if you're looking to hit that 1000 brake horsepower number and care nothing for longevity, it can be achieved fairly easily with £15,000 to £20,000 worth of bolt-on parts, with only a set of camshafts and valve springs needed for the engine internals. We'll just be looking at Europe and America for this one. In the USA, a GTE can run you around $3,000 to $3,500, while an RB26 will likely see you spend near the $5,000 to $5,500 mark. In Europe, you'll be looking to spend between €2,500 to €3,000 for a GTE, or if you want an RB26, you'll be spending more like $4,500 to $5,000. Finally, we've come to what many think is the most important category. Although very similar, the two engines do have distinct sounds. You can really hear the high-strung race-derived sound in the RB26. While you can hear the deeper, more heavy 2JZ sound caused by the larger displacement and lower end torque. The RB26 versus 2JZ argument will never end. Each have their weaknesses and their strengths, but which one would you have?